Do you bleed blue and white? Do you love this club so dearly that you would sign until 2033? Have you ever had the compulsion to throw eggs from a moving vehicle? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Roo Boys Podcast. G'day, Roo boys and girls. Welcome back to the podcast. This is our episode 2 tonight. So thanks everyone who watched. I think we said 15 last week. I think we had over 300 people watch the first episode, which is great. So how are you tonight, Harls?
I'm feeling pretty jacked up, mate. We've been abstaining from phone conversations this week, so this is like I'm in the car on the way home from work. We're about to just touch it fresh. It's good.
Yeah, I know. It should be good. So we'll see how it goes. We did get a little bit of feedback, good and bad, last week. Probably the main one was that we talked too slow. So I thought we're not going to probably change that, but explain to the listeners that we are from the Victorian High Country. And if you think that we talk slow, you should wait till we get our dads on.
Yeah.
Then you'll hear slow. We sound like Eddie Murphy compared to our old man. So
might be like an hour just to say g'day, I reckon.
That's it. But anyway, so off the top, we're going to structure up a little bit. So we're going to start off with something we're going to call the Roo Port.
Woo!
A bit of production there, so we're just gonna.
What the value is huge.
I know. We're just going to talk a bit about the main Roos news, and probably the most pressing issue to start off with is, which we touched on in the intro, is a certain draft pick throwing eggs on his 19th birthday. What's your thoughts?
Oh, mate, it's I've heard they're going to create a squad to investigate it. But some notes that I took down. I heard in the reports that Dobber hatched a plan to commit this awful crime. It put police in an absolute scramble, and one of the arrested officers said it was poultry stuff. So, I just don't know how we're going to move on from this. I mean, a 19-year-old throwing eggs at something. God, it's
I mean, I've done it.
Come to.
Yeah, and we're not having a crack either at Lockie Dobberson, are we?
Absolutely not. We would never have a crack.
It probably points more to inflation for me, because I'll tell you what, if it's only AFL contracted players that can afford to throw eggs these days, it probably just points to, how out of control things are. So the second thing on the list here we've got is obviously the Paul Curtis signing to 2033, which is awesome news. He's an absolute star, and he's sort of just carried on this year, much like he did last year, despite some real health issues at the start of the year, which I think points to just in how good a nick he is.
Yeah. No, look, he's, for me, he's sort of going from strength to strength. I mean, like the weekend's a perfect example of it. Like, he had a very quiet first half, obviously spent some time off the ground. And then, his second half was just brilliant and like involved in everything. Love seeing him around the centre ball ups a lot more. Like, I feel like that was pretty key to us getting back in the game last week. And 33, bloody hell. I don't know if we're still going to be running out this sort of stuff by then, but hopefully.
Oh, it'll be like the Joe Rogan podcast by then, I think. But
it's brilliant stuff. He's look, he's just everyone that like North Melbourne, we just love how strong he is. Like, we all know, we've heard the rumours of how much he bench presses. He's finally one of our sort of fend-off kings, which is great. But yeah, he's brilliant on the ground, brilliant in the air. Just can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah, he's a very hard matchup. And yeah, I think when we cross to our Arden Street correspondent later, there's probably a little bit of news there as well. So, but we'll get to that. We've got Clarko getting caught during the bye in South Australia. Now, the media was reporting that he was there to get Zach Butters. But it was later revealed that Butters wasn't actually in South Australia that weekend. I think it was our friend. He who shall not be named on Adelaide radio who pointed that out. But the word on the street is he was over there talking to Jordan Butts of the Adelaide Football Club. So I don't know if you know much about it. Yeah, I don't know if you know much about him, Harls, key defender. But what do you reckon?
Yeah, so last year, like, he was spending a bit of time in the twos, and so we were sort of rumoured to be sniffing around him a bit last year, but he seems
sniffing
to be
around the butts.
Sniffing around the butts, much. Yeah, I mean, look, you gotta go where the odours are.
That's it.
No, but I didn't even realise I did that then, by the way.
No, that's it.
But that he's like as we seen when we played him, he was marking a lot of things that were coming in. I don't know if it was how brilliant he was that day, or if it was more of a sign of what we were doing. But yeah, he seems like a strong body. As we flagged last week, key defensive is certainly an area where we've got to improve. And yeah, I think looking at those sort of somewhat periphery players at other clubs is what we need to be doing. Like, we're never going to go out and get like what Hawthorn did with like a Tom Barras, I don't think, until we become a genuine contender. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like getting someone that's might be looking at getting like a change of scenery, I think that's a good idea.
Yep. Very nice hair as well. I think he could be the third sort of headband operator as well behind Durs and Jai. Next thing on the list, I think is great, and it's really probably very relevant to us at our age and when we were growing up watching that great 90s team is Pagan and Blight both being elevated to legend status in the Hall of Fame this year. I guess my thoughts on that one is, as I just mentioned, that 90s era was just what we grew up with and were spoilt with until the 2000s, which is a real rude shock to sort of find out what it was like when your team wasn't just making prelims for fun. Yeah. And Pagan, obviously revolutionised the game and just got the most out of having a player like Wayne Carey at centre-half forward and just built the whole game plan around him, and obviously a champion team as well, which a lot of people outside North don't realise either. And just probably on Malcolm Blight, my dad talks a lot about him. You've seen all the highlights of what he could do, the big bomb to win the game, and he was a champion. But unfortunately, during our time, he was also in that 90s era and was the architect behind the 1998 grand final loss for the Kangas, even though we couldn't kick straight in the first half. But also, got the Crows those back-to-back flags. But we probably don't want to dwell on that. But what do you think about that, mate? What's your memories of Pagan? And probably, you're a bit like me, don't have the Blight stuff so much in your memory, but
no. But I mean, a Blight, same as you. Like, it's more from what Dad's passed on to me from Malcolm Blight. But I mean, the Brownlow medalist, like champion. Like, was there a normie in there? He kicked a lot of goals?
Yeah, I don't know whether
Probably
there
should have done
was.
some research, but
Yeah,
I'm going to say Brownlow and Normie. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Let's just go with it.
They give him out to Ashcroft, so he probably did. He probably got 2 Norm Smiths in one game.
Yeah,
So,
but no, he was a mercurial, brilliant player, and obviously part of the gun. I like one of the North's best eras in the 70s. But yeah, Pagan, like obviously, huge part, like you said, of us growing up. The paganisms is probably one of the biggest things that you hear from all the guys like over the years that have gone into the media and whatnot, and there's so many of them. I was there last year at North's, the 150, and the speech before the game, even though it was on delay, like I felt like I could run out there and take on the doggies myself, to be honest with you. Like obviously would have got highlights by Bont.
You might have got us over the line, but
well, I would have at least, I would have at least tried to tackle Bont, I reckon.
And next on the list is obviously we're embarking on our WA tour over the next couple of weeks, and there's a bit of chat around the selling the home games, which I think, I'll let you probably start off on that and give your thoughts.
Well, I mean, it's easy for people to say that, like, selling home games hasn't worked for a lot of the clubs. Like, there's certain clubs like North that we've been doing it as long as I can remember. Like, even those brilliant sides we had in the 90s, we were playing games at Monica and all that sort of stuff. So it's a strategy that's worked for the club for decades now. It's easy to point out that Tassie wasn't, successful in a winning sense, but it's also coincided with like us hitting the biggest rock bottom that we could remember as a club, like spending 6-7 years in the bottom 3. You're not gonna have a lot of success, obviously. So, but I think ultimately it's been successful, and I mean, getting 2.5 mil for 2 games in WA, have at it. And then if you're going to be a good team, it doesn't matter where you play. That's what I think. And you look at more perfect example than this, like last weekend, Freo beats Brisbane in Brisbane. I don't think they were doing that on the reg in recent years. Like, that's the longest road trip in footy. So now they're a consistently good side. Like, you're going to beat anyone anywhere, I reckon. So yeah, good practice.
Yep. And I was going to try and mount a counter argument as a good, as a good co-hosts would, but I completely agree. A lot of other clubs don't understand what it's like, being a smaller club, and it's never been anything that's been on the agenda too much until we're obviously climbing up the ladder, and that's when you can start to get a little bit salty about it, because it's potentially going to cost you a win here and there when you're trying to make the 10, for example. So, but it is something that I don't think we can avoid at the moment. It's a big reason that we've managed to get out of the gutter that we were in, all those years ago. We're an innovative club, and I think I trust them to do the right thing, and I know it costs them some home games, but I think how we're going at the moment, you can't really argue with some of these decisions they've made. But I mean, if we lose the next 2 games, worst fucking decision we've ever made by a mile. So we'll have to see. But anyway, now we're going to go to a new segment here, and we have up the production budget.
Isn't it? Every segment's a new segment, isn't it?
It is. Well, every segment's a new segment because there was no segments last week. We just talked shit. So the next one's going to be called the Arden Street Correspondent, and we've got him on board to bring you the information from the ground as it happens. And we're going to cross to our Arden Street Correspondent. Willow, are you there, mate?
Yeah, thanks, Willow. It's Willow down here at Arden Street, just having a look at training.
Probably one of the main takeaways at the moment is the fast ball movement. They're doing a lot of match sim, lots of handball receives, play-ons, very quick, high intensity. I've just seen Blake Threadgold down here on the boundary line, massive unit, just doing some run-throughs and working on some fitness. He's a big guy. Probably some concerns around PC doing a test over on not training with the main group. Looks to be something, maybe a hand he's testing. Not quite sure, but he hasn't really joined the main group. Cherry's been forward a fair bit, kicking goals and playing inside 50. I'm not here every week, so don't know whether that's just a normal thing. Big concern on Foss. Just took a huge shirt front from Cherry, I think, in the match sim, and was helped from the ground. He didn't appear to be knocked out, but it was a huge hit. So hopefully, he's not under concussion protocols for this weekend. Thanks, Willow. Great info there. A little bit of bad news also. And obviously we can confirm now that Paul Curtis is out for the whole WA tour because of the concussion protocols. He's going to miss the Fremantle and the West Coast game. It was a very, very big hit. I can tell you that. Big blow, Hulls.
What? So you just froze up there for a second. So is Foss out? Is that what you're telling me?
Foss is out for 2 weeks because we're so close to this Fremantle game.
Fuck me. Jesus.
Yeah, it is a blow. And obviously PC wasn't, I don't think it was any, it felt like it was, they were doing he was doing one-handed marks. They were sort of seemed to be testing out a hand, and he wasn't working super hard. So I don't know whether, couldn't really tell whether he was covering the ground or what was going on, but he didn't train with the main group at all. The incident with Foss was, I hope it was Jerry, because I don't want to blame someone it wasn't, but essentially Whitlock took a mark, dropped the mark in the match sim, and I'm going to say Cherry tackled him from behind and Foss tackled him from in front, and they either clashed heads or something, but there was just, packs came together. The back of Foss's head hit the ground before anything else pretty much, and he wasn't out, but they basically stopped straight away. They brought the trainers over and they carried him off, slinked his arms slinked over the trainers.
And it's been confirmed that he's out?
It has been confirmed, yeah. So
that's not what we need at all.
No. Probably a bit of a I don't know, on the Freo side of things. I know we're going to get to this, but he that bloke Johnson, who's their tagger, who's been pretty pivotal for them this year, did a hammy last week. I don't know how bad it is, but he'll be testing as well. So it might be a bit of a tit for tat. And I think that big Brennan Cox for Freo also got injured in the Brisbane game. So I don't know. Hopefully we've been pretty lucky with injuries. At least it's not a.
I was actually
it's not a knee or something.
I was reading the injury report just yesterday, and I was thinking how lucky we'd been with injury. And then when I heard some murmurs today from the correspondent that something had happened, I said, "No, just tell me when we're doing the pod."
Yeah, Harls wanted a live react. So,
yeah, and what was my reaction? Fuck me! And I think even if I had some time to sort of simmer on that and work on my material, I think my reaction would still be the same.
Yeah,
Foss has been so good this year, and we'll go. We'll touch on it when we go to the preview. But I didn't even have him flagged to tag this week, to be honest. So
no,
just spewing that we've lost a bloody good contributor.
Yep, and Willow, just before we finish off with the correspondent, Willow did make a few more notes that he sent through, and they are Ollie Griffin, new
Yes.
mid-season pickup, absolutely just fucking loving life. Like
Really?
as a pig, happy as a pig in shit. He had mates down there watching him. He just looked like, he's gonna just sleep in his gear tonight. I reckon he was that pumped. And lastly, I've got Trembath and Goad picked up a lot of cones. So I thought that's doing the team thing, good blokes. And I just made a bit of a note of that. Good team players.
Yeah, well, that's bloody good. Probably better than Dobbers mates smoking a lot of cones, I'd say.
That's it. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to do I should try and find a different sort of sound effect here, but we're going to do the Roo of the week, and it's a bit of a player focus before we get into the
the kangaroo
prev-Roo
question, if you will.
Yeah, so here we have the Roo of the week player focus. It sounds pretty much exactly like the other one. Anyway,
like the Roo board.
That's all right. We'll get this sorted out. We've got to fire the production team, but we're going to go with Cam Zerha this week. I couldn't think of anyone else after last week. I'm going to keep basking in it. But yeah, just obviously special player. He picked him up in the rookie draft. I think it was pick 11, 2016. And I just remember from the first couple of games, just his aggression and his, hard at the ball. Yeah, he earned that nickname Bull pretty much from the first couple of games. I thought he's got more cool tattoos like as every year goes on, which I'm really impressed with. And I did note in that 2016 rookie draft, there was a couple of good players there, Rowan Marshall and a young Drew Petrie getting picked up by the West Coast Eagles as well, I noticed. So, so that just a couple of highlights there from the rookie draft. But what's your thoughts on Cam, mate?
So when we flagged Cam as the player in focus, I treated myself to rewatching the game again last night. None of the break stuff. I didn't want to bask in any of the shit canning of North at halftime or any of that shit. But I like one thing I did forget to say about like the takeaways from last week's game is when I was sitting there and then like noticing that Cam had gone to the forward half, like it was one of the big. Obviously, it was like a great move in terms of the game, and like watching it again last night, like he wasn't terrible in defence in the first half, but probably probably wasn't impacting. And then as soon as he hit the forward line last week, it just changed the game. Like he got on the end of it a few times, like leading and also just like hitting the contest super hard. Like my main take on Cam is he is just a competitive bastard. He tries his guts out. Like he nearly took Mark of the Year last week, which I think got sort of lost in it as well. He got a hell of a ride there in the third quarter. But yeah, he's aggressive. He's brilliant. And I think like my main thing when I think about him now is when he signed on. And then there was that video on the North app of him telling Larks, which it's just sort of seared into my memory. And like we've said last week, those boys have been through a lot. They've experienced a lot of losing, but just the love that they have for each other and the fact they want to do it together. Cam's just a shin boner for life, and couldn't be happier to have him in the team.
That's actually a really interesting point you make there, which we haven't spoken about, is just the chemistry between Larky and Zerha, and maybe there is a bit of a a bit of a correlation there between Larky's drop off in form and Cam moving out of the forward line, because you can definitely see they look for each other. They know each other's leading patterns.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Zerha's first inside 50 last week hit Larky one-on-one. He just got it deep, and got him one-on-one how he likes it. So that's a really good call out. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good. Anything else on Cam? Do you think he seemed to be training forward? Willow told me this week. So yeah, we'll see how he lines up. He loves playing in front of his mates over there, so hopefully he lights it up.
Well, I feel like he's a genuine utility now, at the very least. So if he was going to play back this week, obviously I was sort of thinking, because the way they were playing him in the back line was sort of more as a loose, because he's such a good mark and he's got good skills. But I was sort of thinking they might need to play him as like an actual defensive, as a defender on a tall. But it's going to be interesting to see how they line up this week, put it that way. But yeah, I feel like Cam's pretty versatile now, being able to play both roles. And like we've seen in the past as well, he's played that pinch hit in the centre bounce sort of role as well, which is obviously more so PC this year. But yeah, Cam's still got that in his bag as well. So yeah, he's definitely, he's a mainstay in the team, and it's for a good reason.
Yep, well said. Probably a good time to lead us into our what's this? Is this our fourth segment of the show?
Oh no, segments.
I'm going to try another sound effect. So this is what we're going to call our prev-Roo. Exactly like the other ones. That's fine. I might leave them in. It's actually pretty funny. It's just like...
Have we got the same sting for everything?
Yeah, this is like full frontal. Anyway, so probably let's just do a bit of a retrospective of the game against Fremantle last year. So obviously it was the second game of the WA tour. I think we played them at opposite grounds as what we have this year. So we played West Coast in the first game at Bunbury, and then we played Freo at Optus. Final score, North Melbourne 10-7, 67 to Dockers 10-13, 73. I don't remember this game super well for some reason. I'm not sure what I was doing, but I know we came back at them pretty hard in the second half after giving them a fair lead, and just couldn't quite get it done in the end. But yeah, it seems to be a bit of a trend with the last, handful of games against Freo. I'm probably going to get found out here if we go back too far, but I'm pretty sure we've had close ones of recent memory. So we match up. I think we match up pretty well on them. I guess the first thing that comes to mind with Fremantle this year is the big three-headed monster that they've got in the forward line, which, with Tracy, the prancing pony, Voss, and Jaya Miss, who sort of looks like someone you'd bully at school, but he seems to be kicking goals out his backside this year. But anyway, yeah, how are we going to go? How's our defence going to hold up against that, Harls?
Well, so, I mean, yeah, like, I'm with you. I don't, I remember playing a close game against them last time. But yeah, I feel like the win was probably never on the cards. I don't remember it as we should have got that one.
We never looked like even in the close games last year, you just never sort of thought we were going to get over the line, did you?
Yeah. So, it's probably is a case of what you said. We let them jump us and then gave ourselves too much to do in the second half or something like that, which was just, well, it's still a common trait with North a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, I remember the Bunbury game. Speaking of that, we're playing at Bunbury, I remember that game better because that was probably the worst game of footy I've ever had to sit through, from both sides. That was just shit house. That was just atrocious footy. So I'm hoping that our Bunbury experience is slightly better than last year's one. Even though we got the win, it was fucking shitful. So, yeah. But yeah, Freo in general, like, yeah, I echo what you said. It's, it's a daunting task because they've kicked, it was like 78 goals between the three of them or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and they're all about 195 centimetres, like strong boys. So like that's the most daunting task. And then obviously they've won 11 in a row, which is also, like they only lost to Geelong in round one when they should have won. Like they were up, I feel like they were up by 40 or 50 points or something down the category, weren't they? And then got run over. So, look,
and if you look at sorry, you go.
No, well, look, they're firing on all cylinders, obviously. Like, they're, I'm pretty sure Sarong's still out this week from the injury report. I'm not sure about Hayden Young. He was a test, but they've turned themselves into just like
Sean McManus is Sean McManus in this week?
But they got Jagger O'Meara running around in the twos, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't I'm sure he's not quite. He's getting towards the end of his career, but I think he'd be playing for a lot of sides. Like he'd probably give our side a little bit of a nudge, I reckon. So, but yeah, like they're a formidable team. Like strong in defence as well with Pearce, and you said Cox is under injury.
He got named as sort of injured last week, but I'm not sure.
But yeah,
whether he comes up or not.
Every area of the ground, they're pretty covered. And obviously Jackson in the ruck, that's a pretty daunting sort of task as well, especially the type of ruckman that he is against X. We've sort of seen X struggle against those big, athletic jumping sort of types. But maybe it'll be a case of so like that was another brilliant move from last week that even just sitting there was so noticeable. Like watching Trembath go to the centre bounce or centre ball up, and then X starting at centre forward, and then they're clearly going to swap over once the real stuff happens. But maybe that's something that they're going to have to go to a bit earlier. But if Carlton versus Geelong last week showed anything, like my main take is be better at what we do than they are at what they do. So North can't be just obsessed with stopping everything that Freo do well, because if you just try to do that, you're not going to be able to do anything that you do well. So I think for us, it's just doing what we have done well. And like even the games against, like Sydney, for instance, that's like, there was some, run with and all that sort of stuff, but it was mainly just mono on mono. And I feel like that's the only way that we're actually going to win the game. Because if we're just completely obsessed with stopping them, I just feel like they'll get on top of us too easy.
Yep. Yeah, we just need to win it out of the middle and kick goals and repeat. That'd be beautiful. I don't know whether they're as good a side. I mean, they're the best side in the comp, but what's really in vogue at the moment is that back half transition of taking it from sort of D50 forward. I don't know whether that is sort of their game. I don't know whether they are the cut you up, going the other way sort of side. And that's also, we're not great in that area either, but we were in the second half against the Gold Coast. We did cut them up real well going the other way. So, and just from training today, as Willow said, is they were training really quick. They were moving the ball, playing on, really pushing the pace of the game. So maybe that's where they see us, maybe getting one over on them. But I think the most important thing is you got to bring that ball to ground in their forward line and make sure you actually, don't let those big blokes mark it. I mean, against the defense, it's got Harris Andrews. They've kicked, I was looking before, 11 goals between them last week. So it's frightening. But
like I said, they're formidable. There's no way that you can be top of the ladder, have won 11 in a row, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is our biggest test so far this season, and we've already faced a few. But yeah, I just feel like the key is to not be scared or over daunted by what they can do. Like what you were saying, like you're not sure what, they're not like a Sydney, which completely their whole game's coming from the back half going forward. Like I feel like Freo have gears and they do a little bit of everything well, which is also what I kind of feel like our strong suit has been when we have played well. Like we have been able to quell a bit of pressure, but we've also been able to bring a whole bunch of pressure, and then like playing fast and taking risk was the whole reason we won the game last round. So yeah, it's a hard task, but I don't see it as impossible.
We haven't seen game plans being changed up mid-game like Clarko is at the moment since Brad Scott, really. Just that whole game.
Brad Scott.
I couldn't say it. Oh, sorry. All right, let's not get off track with Brad. Rest in peace. We'll get onto the Kangas. Probably is a bit of a question that needs to be asked now, which I was actually struggling a little bit with today, is who comes in for Foss. One thing I did notice, Willow noticed, was that Tom Blamires seemed to be the one they pulled aside when it all went down. So I don't know what that looks like. I can't see him going into the midfield as such, but who's that going to move out if he goes to a wing or a halfback flank, I guess, if it is him?
Well, so like we've spoke about this before this year, but I feel like Jai goes straight into the guts to replace Foss, and like I had Jai honestly flagged to be run with Bolton this week, to be honest with you. So because I look at him as they've got a lot of damaging players, but I feel like he's just he's cut above for mine. Like he
killed us last year too, I noticed.
Yeah, and he's so much damage. Like not only just getting it in and around the clearance and stuff like that, but obviously he hits the scoreboard. So for mine, Jaiza is a pretty good matchup for him, and so therefore, like we know that he's going to be spending a lot of time around the footy. And then, the Tommy B has already proven that he's pretty decent on a wing. So even though his last hit out against the Crows was pretty poor, I'm backing him in because he went back to the Magoos and dominated.
He did.
Took his own footy there. I'm pretty sure that it's a nice little thing to have. Like you've got a decent player who's played a lot of senior footy, sort of ready to come back in.
And he works very hard. He'll look good on that Optus wing. The following week too. Yeah, I know, but I don't actually know. It's because I don't fucking know how big Bunbury is. I can't remember. Like I said, I've deleted that West Coast game from last year from my mind because my brain's melted out my ears just watching it. But anyway, so I think that's probably I think you're right. I think Jai comes in to the middle and maybe Blamires comes into the side. Good call.
But I would like my biggest question was because obviously we've already sort of touched on what we think they're going to do in the ruck. Like it's probably going to be a Trembath X sort of thing. So the 3-pronged forward question for Freo is, for me, it was like, does Will Dawson actually go back and play on one of them, or are they going to swap him out for a Toby Pink or, God forbid, an Aiden Court?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'd love to see Dawson just get another game just playing in the back line. But in saying that, two of those, like Tracy's obviously your big full forward, a bit like me in 2011, which I don't want to go on too much about. But Amos and Voss are very mobile. Voss is very mobile. He gets up and around the ground. So I think Voss is the big one for me. That's a really, really hard matchup. So
well,
I'm not.
Griff has to probably take Tracy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's the only one strength-wise that could wrestle with him, I reckon.
Yeah. Chom probably goes with Voss, I think.
You reckon? Yeah.
I do, just because of the pay. Yeah. I think Chom's quick and he can run with him.
So it's going to be a big watch because, like, either way, I feel like, there's not really a matchup for Shotgun because I don't know how fleet of foot he is. So, like, I guess it'd be Amos, but Amos is bloody quick on the lead. So that's where I was thinking, a potential changeover for Pinky with Shotgun. But I'm with you. I'd rather see them back Shotgun in just because I like the cut of his jib. It's a jib related and
he's got he hasn't got the big headband either. It's the little one. Like, I like it. It's a bit of a
just
a young Leo Messi type setup, which I am liking. North traditionally been a bit of a club that shies away from, your Hawthorn funky haircuts and things like that. But just the dabble of the hairband this year, I like. Have we got a tip for this game, Harls? I think I'll go first, I guess. As we've just touched on, really, really tough game. Powerhouse forward line, big test for North. But I am going to go North by 10, I think.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty fair, mate. 10 points is
goals. 10 goals.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a smart man. I back your decision.
What about yourself?
Yeah. Oh, look, obviously, we've gone through it a fair bit. They've won 11 in a row, but I sort of look at it like that's a bit of an omen. They've got to lose at some point. So yeah, I'm North by 11 personally.
11 points.
No goals. Yeah.
Okay. No. We're aligned.
Yeah. So I'm sort of more like, JK is probably going to kick 8. And, I'd say that, Cam Zerha and probably Zane Dursmart will take combined mark of the year where they meet in the air and then they can't split them. So, yeah.
I think
basically it's a percentage booster from my perspective. Then we'll just roll on to West Coast with a head of steam.
And we'll pick up about 20 percentage points on West Coast when we beat them by 200, and we'll just be absolutely flying. But
so then that top 6 is really on the cards, and
here we come.
What more can we say? Yeah, get on the route.
Anyway, we have to be optimistic. But yeah, in all seriousness, go the Kangas. I hope they give them a massive shake, even without Foss. And have you got anything to add, Harls?
Basically, just Kanga.
Roo.